born in Minneapolis, and I spent about 20 years in retail branch management. And during that time in retail branch management, what I did is I opened savings accounts, checking accounts, did loans for businesses and individuals. During that time, I realized that there were several people who didn't understand checking accounts, they didn't understand savings accounts, they didn't understand lending. And as a result, they had NSF fees or couldn't qualify for checking accounts or didn't qualify for loans. So I realized there was a great need for people to learn how to manage their money, because money management isn't a given. It's not something that everybody learns. In fact, a lot of times either you learn it from your parents or you don't learn it at all. So what I decided to do is to devote a lot of my time to helping people learn how to manage your money. Because I believe sincerely, if you learn how to manage your money, it can change your life. It can definitely change your life. What I'd like to do, first of all, is talk about goals. Because goals are very important. And what I'd like to ask each of you is what I do with my clients. I like to ask, if you don't mind, what are some of, just one of your short-term goals, short-term financial goals? And when I talk short-term, I'm thinking in the next 12 months, a short-term financial goal, okay? And it can be whatever you want. I'm not judging what the goal is at this time, but just whatever you want, and just think about it. What's the goal? And if there's something you want to do, and there's something you know you want to do, it could be a trip, it could be savings, it could be a purchase, it could be debt reduction. Think about that, and then I'd just like to hear, if you don't mind sharing with me, a short-term goal. Is anybody ready?
Okay, I'll go. We're trying to save almost $2,000 a month.
Okay.
Because we went into the bank to see what we could do for getting a home. We lost a lot of money in our last home.
Okay.
So that leaves us without any down payment.
Okay.
And in order to be successful there, we have to have $20,000
Okay. So you're starting with 2,000. Is that what you said?
per month.
2,000. So your goal is, your short-term goal is to save 2,000 per month.
That's correct.
Okay.
So that's everything, expenses and then beyond. And we're not anywhere near beyond yet.
Okay.
We're still just trying to hit the expenses.
Okay.
So that's where we are.
All right.
Jeanette?
I would like to be able to figure out some kind of a system for myself so that I can handle some of my bills that I have, so they don't just get paid haphazardly and wind up going into collections as they sometimes do. And it's basically medical expenses, pocket medical expenses.
So if I understand what you're saying, you'd like to learn how to manage your money better.
Yes.
Than the next
Yes.
term. Okay. Okay. Bridget, would you like to share a goal?
I basically would like to get to a point where I'm not worried about covering everything every month.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very tight.
Yep, those medical expenses can pop up.
I have a lot of
sometimes
medical
unforeseen.
bills, and I have student loans, and
Mhm.
I think I'm on top of everything, and I actually have really good credit, which is kind of surprising considering I've had to manage over $1 million of medical bills.
Yeah.
And I have actually relatively little debt considering, all of the events that have happened, but I'd like to do better. So I think I'm okay, satisfactory, but it's just very stressful to be, anxious all the time.
Absolutely. And the reason I bring up goals is for two reasons. Is that there's an old adage, and it's so, so true. And the adage is, people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And it's so true. A lot of people just don't have plans, they don't have goals. They just live from day to day. And without goals, where do you end up? You usually end up nowhere. I think of goals as a plan, as going on a trip. So if you have a destination, a goal, you know where you're going. If you don't have a goal, you just keep driving. You keep living, and you keep living, and you never never get to where you want to go. So again, people don't plan to fail, people fail to plan.
That's me to a T, not just financially, but other ways.
And not just you, it's a
A lot
lot
of
of people.
people.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
people. That's why I do what I want to do, and I think that's why Bridget asked me to come here, because a lot of people are in situations, they want better things for themselves, but they never think about planning. Or they never have anybody mention planning to them. They just live day to day, day to day, day to day. And it's not that they don't want better, they just never planned. They never planned, that's all. And there's one word or two words that will definitely guarantee you for not reaching your goals. And that one or two word is someday. The reason is because someday never comes. Someday I'll start to save money. Someday I'll learn how to manage my money. Someday I'm not going to live paycheck to paycheck. Someday I'm going to do this. So I try to discourage people from using someday and being more specific, leading into goals. There's a goal that will hopefully help you to get to where you want to go. It's called a SMART goal. You may have heard about this before. SMART goal is an acronym. And it's an acronym that can help you, I believe, to reach at least one goal. The S in SMART stands for specific. The goal has to be specific. Sometimes people say, I want to save money. I want to save money isn't specific. Or I want to go on a trip. Or I want to decrease my debt. Those are good things that people want to do, but they're not specific. And because they're not specific, you know people all the time who say, I want to lose weight. And they say it for the rest of their lives because it's nothing specific. So financially, it has to be specific. Two, it has to be measurable. The measurable part is, I want to save $2,000 a month. I want to decrease my debt by $1,000 by the end of the year or by the end of the month. That's the measurable part, putting a number to it. Because then you'll know you have reached it by measuring it. It has to be attainable. It has to be attainable. A lot of times, I meet with people, and they say they want to save. Because savings is admirable. A lot of people want to do it. And then I ask them how much they want to save. And they might say, I want to save $10,000. Then I ask them, how much do you have in your savings today? And they say 0. So in that case, I would say it's not attainable. Only because they've never saved before. If you don't have the practice of saving, then I think it's going to be difficult to do it. But as you develop the habit, then I think it's something that definitely could be done. So it's got to be attainable. The next thing is realistic, which is similar to attainable. It's got to be a realistic goal. I want to make $1 million next year. Isn't realistic if you're making $50,000 and you don't have a plan to make $1 million. It's got to be a realistic goal. And the T stands for timely. Put a time behind it so it doesn't go on forever. That's why I asked about short-term goals. What are your goals for the next 12 months? A lot of times you want to know, by 12/31, I want to learn how to manage my money. Or by 12/31, I want to pay all my bills on time. Or by 6/30/14, I want to have a certain amount of money paid, timely. So if it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, there's a better chance that you are going to reach your goal. And I could go through an exercise for you to write down a specific one goal and tell me. Make it specific. Make it measurable. Make it attainable, realistic, and timely. And that's something I do with people. And I tell them, okay, you say you want to save $500. When do you want to save it by? Is it realistic? And how are you going to do it? And maybe we're going to save $40 or $50 a month for the next 12 months. So those things, so they can measure. And at the end of the time, a lot of people, it helps people to do that. So that's why I bring that up. Yes.
How about part 2? So stop it.